welcome back to another episode on Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson. I'm an anxiety coach who has struggled with anxiety disorder for over 3 years and now have been anxiety free for over 9 years and now help other people that are struggling with anxiety to overcome theirs in a natural way. What today's episode is going to be about is how important it is to build boundaries and how to build boundaries. And this can be with so many different aspects of our lives. It doesn't have to be specifically with people, but also with ourselves. And I'm going to walk you guys through it so that you guys have a better idea of how to build boundaries with yourself and other people, because we want to, at the end of the day, to live a certain lifestyle. And that lifestyle is what's going to help us to better ourselves and also heal ourselves. Because one of the reasons why we have anxiety is because of our current life that we currently have, the way we are living it, and we need to change that. And one of the ways of changing that is by making certain boundaries, again, with people and also with ourselves and also with situations. We have to build boundaries. Now, when it comes to people, this one is very hard for us because a lot of people with anxiety, one of the reasons why we have anxiety, and I always talk about this, is because we have a lack of self-esteem. We don't value ourselves enough. We are constantly looking at how bad we are and how we're not successful and what we do wrong, and just the narrative that we have been told and we have been telling ourselves for so many years, it kind of flooded us into believing that this is who we are and we need to pick our self-esteem and change that and really look at the stuff that we are actually good at. But the point of this, again, this episode is to build the boundaries. So now whenever it comes to people, a lot of us with anxiety, we have a very hard time in saying no to people because we want to please the other person because we want the other person to like us. Now, the reason why we want the other person to like us is because, like I said before, our self-esteem is shot right now. We need those people to build up our value because we can't build it ourselves. But the thing is that every single time we're pleasing everybody else, we are getting affected. And if we're getting affected, it's making our anxiety worse. We're running after something in order for us to feel good, but at the end we feel even worse. So we need to put a stop to that. We really need to value ourselves and also to evaluate the situation. And when somebody asks us for a favor, we shouldn't work on guilt. We shouldn't work because we feel guilty or we feel bad or that, oh, you know what, this person's not going to like me. They're going to think worse of me. No. We should look at it more of like, you know what, can I really do this right now? Am I able to do this right now? Because if I do this right now, how would I feel afterwards? Will I feel frustrated? Will I feel annoyed? If that's the case, then don't do it because you're going to feel worse about yourself afterwards and you won't get that feeling that you're looking for if you do it at the end of the day. You're not going to be able to, and you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to stretch yourself out too thin. So we need to set up boundaries. I'm not saying to always say no, to start taking yourself into consideration, to start looking at yourself as, wait, what do I think about me? What would I say about me? That's the thing that we need to remind ourselves of. Okay, what would I say about me, about this situation, about me not wanting to do this? I need to respect myself. And again, we need to build our self-esteem, but we should start saying no to certain situations so that we can, again, reserve ourselves so that we can build up that energy to build ourselves back up to the way we used to be. Because if we're going to continuously please other people, it's going to affect us in a very negative way.
So that's one way we need to build the boundary on somebody. We need to start saying no. We can start saying no to people that we're comfortable with and start building ourselves and start working on our self-esteem so that we can get to the point of choosing and picking. Okay, you know what? I could do this, or I could do it here, or I could do it this time, but I can't do it this time. So for example, if somebody asks you to do something at 6 o'clock and you can say, hey, you know what? If you want, I can do it at 8 o'clock. I'm not saying no, but this is the time that I could do because at 6 o'clock, I have something else to do.
If you are looking for a natural remedy in order to help you to deal with your anxiety and help you on your journey to overcome it, I created Calmly CBD, where it specifically helps you to calm down your anxiety and panic attacks, and it helps you to feel calmer throughout the day so you're able to do things and not be paralyzed by your anxiety. If you want to learn more, you can click the link below where it says Calmly to learn more.
Now, another place that we need to build boundaries on is with toxic people. This is a big thing. Toxic people that make you feel worse about yourself, that are constantly putting you down, that are not supportive, that are just very negative, and they always blaming you for every single situation that goes wrong with their life. And they're just not good people to be around. We need to cut them off. And I know that it's hard for some people because with some people, they are our family members. For some people, it could be your best friend. It could be someone really close to you. But we need to keep a distance. We need to love them from far. And I know that it's for some people, it could be a significant other. And again, we can work on it with them. I'm not saying completely cut them out right to the get-go. We can talk about it with them and say how we feel and what we are going through and how they're affecting us and how we can maybe work together to start changing ourselves. But we need to start working towards to better the situation and not keep it the same way, because that is affecting us. And I know that it's with so many people, and me included, whenever I was struggling with anxiety and I needed to better myself, people that affected me emotionally and mentally, I would speak to them about it, how they're affecting me and how I just didn't like what was going on. And after a while, if I see that there wasn't any change and I see that they're not willing to work on it or even hear my side of the story or hear my side or anything like that and what I have to say, I started to keep a distance from these people because it was affecting me in a very negative way, and I couldn't handle it. I wasn't able to handle it because, hey, listen, at the end of the day, I want to feel better. I'm living with myself 24/7. I don't want to be affected by this negativity. And I know with some people, I was single when this happened. Now, when it comes to marriage, and I know some people with their significant other, it could be the case with them. What can we do in that situation? We need to be open about it and say, hey, listen, I'm not really happy with this situation because it's affecting me in a very negative way. And I know you don't understand what I'm experiencing, but all I want from you is the support and the respect from you so that I can overcome this thing. You understand? Or express to them, hey, listen, this and this and this and this is what's bothering me in our situation, in our marriage, and I would really like you to change. And I'm not saying that you need to change, that we can both change together. Maybe we can go to couples therapy, or maybe we can go to a certain event to work on ourselves so that we can better ourselves. Because I'm not really, happy, or that I'm really struggling right now with anxiety and it's really affecting me, and I really want to better myself. And we can work on it together. You understand? And I'm not saying that's going to be from the day tomorrow that things are going to change. But as long as the other person is willing to do that, then you see that, okay, you know what? That's great. And I know some situations that whenever the other significant other is not willing to change, and that's something that you need to figure out what you want to do, because I'm not going to tell you what to do, because you understand your life better than I do, right? But what we could do in that situation is make a decision and decide, okay, what is it that I want to do here from now on? What is it that I can do so that I don't get affected? But that's something that you need to come up with on your own, because again, I don't understand your situation and I don't want to give a generalized answer to every single person, because I know every single situation is different. But you can say, okay, you know what? If my significant other doesn't want to better themselves, maybe I will just do it on my own. You understand? Maybe what can I do for myself so that that person doesn't affect me? That way we can better ourselves. And again, of course, you can figure out on your own, is this really person that I want to be with? But again, at the end of the day, that is your own decision, and you need to evaluate it on your own. And I'm more of a believer in building and working on one another, but it's very, very hard when the other person is not willing to work on themselves and not willing to grow. It's extremely difficult in those situations. It really, really is. But we need to build boundaries with these toxic people, whoever it is, and express to them, say, hey, listen. And I did this. I say, listen, I don't appreciate you always putting me down or saying negative things about me or yelling at me or being angry towards me whenever something doesn't work out. Whatever it is, I would express it to them. And I would say, listen, I would really appreciate if you can change over here, if we can stop doing this, if you can stop doing this, because it's really affecting me. And after a while, this is me personally, what I did, I gave them a few chances, because again, some people were really close to me, but I see that it wasn't really resonating with them. It wasn't really affecting them, and it wasn't letting them change. So what I did, I had to move away from those people and build a distance from them and love them from afar, because I did not want them to affect me in a negative way. So I had to build certain boundaries. And I told myself, whenever they were asking, like, oh, let's hang out or let's do this, I would say, hey, listen, I'm not really in the mood right now. Or whatever thing I would come up with. But I would never try to tell them, me personally, because I just didn't have the energy. I would never try to tell them, hey, listen, you know what? I no longer want to hang out with you, or this and this and that, because they're not willing to accept the fact about that. They're not willing to accept, like, oh, you know what? Why don't you want to hang out with me? What's wrong with me? Why don't you want to do it? It's like a whole entire different, situation and a whole entire different story. I just don't have the energy for. Me personally, I just didn't have the energy for. So after a while, they kind of got the hint, and we kind of built, after time, it built a certain distance. But there were some people I just told them, like, hey, listen, if this and this and this doesn't happen, I'm no longer able to hang out or not able to be together anymore, because it's really affecting me. And you know what? Sometimes people will change like that. They would change because they saw how serious I really was. Now, we also need to build boundaries with ourselves, meaning with the things that we do in a unhealthy way. For example, watching the news. We need to set a boundary on that and say, you know what? I'm not watching the news. Being on social media, I'm not going to be on social media. I'm going to set boundaries of how long I'm going to be on social media and what I'm going to be watching over there. Or even watching movies, being on TV, right? Watching TV. How long I'm going to watch TV every single night. We have to build certain boundaries. With food-wise, you know what? I love caffeine. I love drinking coffee. Not me personally. If somebody does, I am going to build a boundary over there and not drink the caffeine. Or I eat a lot of sweets, a lot of sugar. I'm going to build a boundary over there and not eat so much sugar. I'm going to start eating healthier. We have to build certain boundaries for ourselves in order for us to start feeling much better. And that can be also with doing certain exercises, like, for example, exposure therapy. A lot of us, we don't want to go out there and do exposure therapy because we don't feel comfortable. And we may feel comfortable staying at home and not do certain things, but we need to build certain boundaries and tell ourselves, no, I've been at home for, 3 weeks. I haven't been out. I'm going to start every single day, step by step, to start walking out of my house. Or a certain situation that I'm afraid, I'm going to set some boundaries of how much I can actually avoid that situation so that I could get there. Or you know what? I haven't been bettering myself. I haven't been investing myself. Whatever it is, I'm going to build a certain boundary. In this situation, I'm going to build a boundary so that I could start bettering myself. So we need to also build boundaries. We need to build those boundaries and say to ourselves, okay, you know what? I've been slacking lately. I haven't been improving myself lately. Or let's say, for example, whenever I was writing every single day in my notebook, I would get very lazy after a while. Like, oh, I'm not in the mood of doing it. I'm like, no. We told ourselves that we are going to do it. We are going to do it every single day. It can be one thing, but I'm building myself a boundary over here that from my laziness, me personally, from my laziness, and I'm going to apply the thing that I said I am, because at the end of the day, it's going to better me. It's going to make me feel better. So we need to build certain boundaries. We have to build certain boundaries with ourselves, with other people, with situations, whatever it is. We need to say to ourselves, okay, this thing is affecting me in a very negative way. I need to better myself. And what I'm currently doing isn't helping me. Again, it can be with a person, it can be a certain situation, it can be with yourself, the relationship with yourself. But at the end of the day, we want to build those certain boundaries in order for us to feel much better.
If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people. And the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.